prominent opposition leaders in Nigeria have raised serious concerns over what they describe as a deliberate plot by the administration of President Bola Tinubu to weaken and ultimately dismantle the country's multi-party democracy through the politicization, that's what they're calling it, of anti-corruption agencies. In a strongly worded joint statement, the leaders accused the federal government of weaponizing state institutions, particularly the EFCC, the police, and the ICPC, to persecute political opponents. They allege that opposition governors and key political figures are being pressured by anti-graft agencies to defect to the ruling party, warning that recent defections have reinforced public suspicion that coercion rather than ideology is driving political realignments. In a while, I'll be joined live from Kano by the National Coordinator of the Obedient Movement, Tanko. But now in the studio, I have the Rise Director of News and Politics Editor, Sumner, Sambo, a man of all weather. Glad to have you join me on the program. What do you make of what they say? They're raising alarm over what they call a threat to multi-party democracy.
It's normal. I mean, even President Bola Tinubu, who is the president now, actually raised this alarm several times while he was in the opposition. I mean, towards the 2007 election, I mean, they raised this alarm so much. And when Goodluck Jonathan was in power, they raised this alarm too. And of course, they eventually used all of these tactics to get into power in 2015. So it's a normal tactic that opposition leaders usually use. But that is not to say that whenever there are issues, that you won't actually look at it. So these opposition leaders are calling on Nigerians to take a critical look at what's going on, that there's selective justice, a selective prosecution of opposition leaders and all of that. And we are saying that what we are saying is that it's the Nigerian, interest that we should all be looking for. Yep. So whether you're an opposition leader or you're a member of the governing party, if indeed you've been found wanting, then you should face the law, irrespective of whatever the issues are. Yes, what they've raised is actually very good, because in the last few months, you will see that the likes of Ngige, the likes of Abubakar Malami and others, are being prosecuted. But I mean, some of these prosecutions actually started before Tinubu came into power. And then, should we say that because they are members of the opposition, that Nigeria's anti-graft agencies should not go to work?
Should stop doing their work.
Should stop doing their work. I think the leaders of the opposition have to be very careful with the sort of messaging that they are putting out. Yes, I really love the part that they put where they said that between 2015 and 2025, all accounts have come into the federal government, state government, and local government should be audited and all of that. Yeah, it's a very good point. Because if you want to get into power, you must not give Nigerians the inkling that you would want to protect certain people who are assumed or alleged to be corrupt,
have committed a crime,
or to have committed a crime in one way or the other. But I mean, these are all allegations. But do we have selective, treatment of some of these people by the anti-graft agencies too? I can tell you that yes, some people who are in government who have been accused of engaging in corruption have not received this sort of treatment.
I mean, giving a pass in the hand.
And some of them even, I mean, look at those ministers that resigned. Better Edu, Naji and all of that. I mean, these opposition leaders in one way or the other, they are also correct in trying to say that, look, let's take a critical look. So I will ask Nigerians to be the judge.
All right, I'll leave it there. Let's join Tanko of the Obedient, National Coordinator of the Obedient Movement. Thank you so much, Sambo, for being here. Yunusa, are you there? Hello? Good. So I was speaking with, I've been speaking with Arise Director of News, Sumner, Sambo, on what you are calling a threat to multi-party democracy. One wonders why you're calling it a threat to multi-party democracy, because after all, in reports having that in 2004 and in 2007, PDP party controlled 28 states. Some even say it was 31. In 2009, it controlled 26 states during late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua's time. So why is it different now with APC? I mean,
Okay, let me just start by saying that for the ample time and for the record purposes, the eminent Nigerians who signed that document are well aware of the history of this country. And if they come out and say there's a threat to democracy, in fact, it's a multi-threat to multi-democratic system in Nigeria. We are aware, and honorably so, and almost all the political parties in Nigeria have been infiltrated. We have been talking about this for a continuous period of time. Now, if you are making references to a certain period of time in our country, and yes, probably PDP had controlled quite a large number of states in the country as at that time, when you look at the processes at them, they are different from what we have at the moment now. And even if as at that time you say probably it is wrong, does not mean that because you are in power now, you repeat the same mistake that other people have already done. That does not grow the system. That always creates the situation in which the democracy in Nigeria is being put at a dangerous path. That probably we may not even have democracy if we continue in this path. And that is the fear. But you could also agree with me that every Nigerian, with all due respect, we have majority of people who are in government. And democracy is the best of all kind of government at the moment that we all know, except for the process in which we have already been putting it to, and is making it look very ugly and totally unacceptable to Nigerians. So we must tread softly and tread carefully in the way in which Nigeria has been converted into a one-party state. And these gentlemen are talking to this particular fact that, look, the government is deliberately killing democracy, and they are calling on all international community to come in quickly and deal with the issue, because Nigeria is the most populous nation in the world as a black nation. And if anything happens to the democracy, they are going to suffer the brunt. So they take good caution into it. And the level in which they are dealing with the democracy in Nigeria, they are doing it with impunity. And now we are already listening to how they are saying that democracy is not in danger.
Yeah, let me comment
Yes,
there a little bit. Well, there are arguments, really, UNISA, that it's not the government in power, but the opposition political parties are the people killing themselves, you know, with Labour not being steady. Even the obedient movement, Labour, your principal is joining the ADC. PDP has several problems, and that's not where I want to go to. The FG says you're engaging, talking about the opposition party, is engaging in what they call subterfuge, searching for scapegoats and blowing hot air. Isn't that what it really looks like, UNISA?
No, at all. How do you explain that those who are already in government are being served with deodorant, like Shehu Sani says, and those who are being seen to have been in the opposition are being followed rigorously with an insecticide? These are the same situation in which you are talking about. Look, if you are being sane and sincere, democracy is about the people and fairness and equity for all. You don't need to go and do a kangaroo, a kind of judicial importation, and then make somebody look like a situation that is being clean. Take a look at what happened in Rivers State. It was very, very clear. It was intimidation. And we have on authority those who are some of the people who are political party leaders who are refusing to join, but they are being intimidated. A case in study is what happened to the Osun State governor. We all saw it. It was not me. And we all heard how the son of the president goes about with using all kinds of form of security, as if there's no rules and regulation in this country. These are glaring intimidation that makes it look like, okay, we are not even in democracy. It's an authoritarian rule. And we must checkmate this. Every Nigerian must come on board to fight this. This country is not an entrepreneur of another one single person. It belongs to all of us. And so it must be treated in that way. We are not saying that people have no right to join any political party that they want. They have the right to do so. But it must be done with the interest of the person that wants to do it without intimidation or coercion or probably manipulation.
All right.
What you are seeing here now is almost like...
All right, before I let you go, I mean, because time is approaching for the news, when you said, UNISA, or the opposition, I mean, really, when they said the government of the day is instigating the defection of governors, opposition politicians into the ruling party. One wonders, what's wrong with that? Maybe they have something those who are defecting need that where they're defecting from doesn't have. I mean, isn't that the whole idea, to push people into your, like teams do, to strengthen your own party or your own team?
On a moral question, political ideological differences, sell the ideology of the party, putting it back on the bond burner, not using state resources and state apparatus, government institutions like ICPC, like EFCC, and the rest of them to coerce somebody. That is the issue. If I am coming out to tell you on my good deed of what I have been able to do for the people, and the people are happy, for crying out loud, all of us know that in Nigeria, there's hunger in the land. And quite honestly, you are running a country where even the budget appropriation has not been funded. And the money has been appropriated on a continuous basis to all of these particular states. So it's just like saying, using the state resources, I bet you, come, if you do this, I will give you this. Right. It's not as if like, I'm going to do this for the people. All A, B, C, T, D.
All right, we'll leave it there. Sorry, that's enough. That's the time we can take on the program. Thank you so much, Eunice Tanko there, the national coordinator of the Obedient Movement on Arise Prime Time. Well, that's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Do join us again tomorrow from me and the entire team here in Abuja. Goodbye, and thank you for watching.